Good morning. It's 7:04 a.m. I tried waking up at 5:30, 5 to 5:30 today, but I wasn't able to. I learned one thing about being in a deficit. It is that sh- it's so hard to sleep in a deficit because when the body is hungry, it goes into a mode where it feels like it needs to hunt for food. And so it gets alert. And it's hard to sleep on the alert mode. So, to fix this, what I'm planning is I'm gonna do bare minimum activity in the morning until evening, around evening. I'm gonna eat bare minimum food until evening so that I have all the calories left for just 90 to 100 minutes before I sleep. Because I do not want to sacrifice my sleep at all. It makes my energy lower the next day. It makes my thinking capacity lower the next day. It reduces my physical performance the next day. And I won't be able to wake up around 4:30, which is my plan, because I'm going to sleep so late around 11 or 12. I will go to bed around 9:30, 10:30, but I won't be able to sleep until 11, 12, or even 1 a.m. if I am hungry. And the worst part is during that time, I can't even do any work. I can't do anything. My mind is not functioning. My body is, I don't want to use the T word, the TIRED. I am low on energy. I'm not able to think, but I also can't physically do anything, but I also can't sleep. So all my mind does in that moment is it just picks up the phone, starts scrolling on Netflix, on YouTube, and that is a complete waste of time. So I'm gonna have all my calories left, most of my calories left for around 90 to 100 minutes before the sleep, so that I just feel full in that moment. I'm not hungry in that moment, and hence I'll be able to sleep. And I already explained why I don't want to sacrifice my sleep at all. One, because I want to wake up earlier. Two, because I want to perform well the next day, and it ruins both. The second thing, which is really, really, really interesting, I just learned about it yesterday. I learned that the brain, the subconscious, you can load problems in your subconscious by just telling it what the problem is. And then it will start solving it or forming connections which will be able to help you solve it while you're not doing anything, while you're not actively focusing on it. For example, if you have a problem with your business that, or let me take a simpler example. If I have a problem that I'm thinking, what should I post? What type of content should I post on my Instagram so that I attract the right type of person and I'm actually helping the right type of person I want to coach, I want to help, I want to attract to my business? Then I will not actively work on that problem sitting here right now. I will install it in my brain. So I've told my brain, hey, this is the problem. And then I leave it. What happens then is that it starts forming connections on its own. It starts collecting the memories, extracting the memories from the past, the data from the past, the things it already knows, and it uses information one and information two to synthesize information three. It forms new connections. And this happens when you're bored, when you're walking, when you're taking a shower, when you're taking a shit in the morning. That's when I have my craziest connections in my mind. That is when all of these aha moments happen. These are known as epiphanies. I even made a video, I think, on this. This is when the epiphanies happen. And this is when your brain has successfully synthesized an information which will get you to the solution of the problem. You can load the problem, prompt it, and then leave it to wonder. Sometimes the best thing to solve a problem, to fix a situation, to resolve a situation is to leave it for some time. That's a part of the work process. Because why this happens is in these moments, especially in the morning, your mind is not constrained by too much logic. It starts to wander off like a child. It starts to imagine like a child. It starts to imagine without any constraints of the logic, of the world, of the math. And so it can think of all these possible things which can exist, and there are no constraints. So eventually you do end up finding the one solution which is going to work. But when you're actually focused on the task, when later on in the day, like afternoon or evening or night, that is the worst, you have all these constraints in your mind. Your mind doesn't allow itself to freely imagine. It starts being more rational, more logical, more constraintful. And so whenever you think of a solution, you start thinking, nah, that's not gonna work, but this is a problem with this solution, blah blah blah, blah, etc. But in these wandering stages, that does not happen. The conclusion is install a problem in your mind and then let your subconscious sit with it for some time, maybe a day, maybe or two, maybe 2 days, depending on the problem. It could be a day, it could be a month, it could be a year. Let it wander, and it will go into the stage where it will start forming and synthesizing information and solutions on its own. It will just go, let it wander and pick the best one out of the one it synthesizes. My most creative solutions and ideas come to me when I'm taking a shit in the morning, and not just taking a shit even after that. Because in that stage, I just learned yesterday, the logical brain is not completely active, the rational brain. So I don't have any constraints. And this leads me to another really interesting point. It is, what if we can have childlike curiosity all of the time? What if we can selectively use our rational brain when we want it and not just all of the time? I do want to be creative. I do want to follow my visceral feelings. I do want to follow what I feel. When people follow what they feel, good and bad things happen. Why did the French people revolt against the French king in the French Revolution? It was their feelings. It wasn't completely rational. They thought we have had enough. We are being suppressed and violated, and we don't want this anymore. Let's gather our energy and let's fight for something bigger than ourselves. Let's fight for the idea of nationalism. Let's fight for the idea of becoming free. Let's fight for the idea of allowing social mobility, of having a social ladder which we can actually climb. Because when there were kings, you couldn't climb the social ladder, but now we can. And that was their feelings. One thing about the word feelings is that it has, in my mind, it has a feminine connotation. When I say feelings, I think being sad, being happy, acting on your feelings, seeking sympathy, basically like a child or a woman who act more on their feelings. But those are not the only feelings. Nationalism is a feeling. Believing in something bigger than yourself is a feeling. Having an idea which you want to work for, having a dream, is a feeling. And it can also be hard to chase. It's following your feelings doesn't just mean do whatever the fuck you want and it has to be easy and don't do anything hard. No, I think it's the opposite. I think it's the absolute opposite. I think as a man, for me, I can speak for myself. What do I think? My feelings are for achieving pride within myself. I want to be proud of myself, and that is the only way I can be happy. My happiness is my pride. My pride is my happiness. If I'm not achieving, I can't be happy. Or if I'm not helping someone else achieve something, which is also by extension my achievement, then I can't be happy. And these are the type of feelings I want to follow when I say feelings, not the other way. I want to have a strong, fightful, if that's a word, pride, achieving sense of connotation behind the word feelings. And I have always thought this, but the French Revolution, did it confirm or did it amplify? I think it amplified my belief that following feelings is not always wrong. I think you choose a path with feelings and then you walk on it with logic. You choose a path with feelings and then you walk on it with logic. I chose the path of business because of feelings, because I was suppressed in the college. They were wasting my time. I knew a degree wasn't the way to make money. And all of these things just evoked anger within me, a sense of bravery within me that I need to fight this. I felt compelled to fight this. And hence, I followed the path. I chose the path because of my feelings of dropping out. That was because of my feelings. And I walked on it with logic. Perhaps we'll go into the details of it some other day, but I chose the path with feelings and I followed it with logic. Where I was going with this point where I originally started, this connects to another point of choosing your feelings. Absolutely. I don't know where I was going with this point. Let's conclude it with that let your subconscious sit with the problem for some time and let it collect the data and the memories freely without any logical constraints and let it imagine the possible solutions. And then in the morning, you'll have an aha moment where everything just solves itself. Not everything solves itself, your mind solves the problem. Anything else I'm going to say? I'll tell you exactly how I am applying the thing I just told you. Right now, right before I started recording this video, I have applied the thing which I just told you about prompting your subconscious with a problem. I was sitting here on my chair wanting to record a video for my Instagram where I would tell the person I'm talking to, my ideal person, who's obese man, that your mind is going to function so much better after you lose like 20, 30 kgs. because the mind and body are absolutely connected. They work hand in hand. And if the body improves, the mind improves. You're able to solve problems, more complex problems quicker. You're able to think better. You're able to have perspectives on things. In a you're able to have such perspective on things which you could never have before. You're able to look at problems from a different way and have that aha moment. More. I wanted to record this and say that to him, but as soon as I pulled out my phone, right over here, I was sitting like this. I just became so self conscious. All of a sudden, I was thinking about what to say, who am I talking to, what is my point, instead of just letting the words out, letting the feeling out of me. Instead of that, I was just thinking and thinking. And I said it out loud. I even recorded myself on my phone saying this, that why am I thinking so much? I genuinely want to say this point to that person, but then why am I thinking so much? So, what I ended up doing, I just closed my phone, I did not record the video, and I prompted myself, subconscious, that hey, this is a problem. You're thinking too much before recording. You need to get rid of this. I've prompted it, I've installed the problem within my mind, and I've left it free. Now, its job is to form connections, extract memories, collect memories, and then put them together. Its job is to put one and one together and form a two. Information one, information two, which will synthesize information three, which will be the solution to my subconscious, to me being conscious while recording problem. I'm not actively thinking on it right now because then I'll be constrained. I'll think within some certain boundaries. I won't extract that memory from 2015, which I need. I'll be within this constraintful area, but my subconscious won't. So yeah, just fix my hair. I don't care about the hair, but I have another theory. There is no problem without a solution. If it did not have a solution, it would not be a problem. I haven't given this much thought, but you think it with me. If a problem doesn't have a solution, then it is not a problem. The second we define a problem within our own mind, because we create our own problems. Why? I'll tell you. If you're going, if you're driving on a road, and you want to go somewhere, but a sudden storm hits and then a tree falls down in front of you. You're driving the car, but a tree is in front of you now. And now you can't drive through the tree. And there is no other way. There is no other road which you can take. Considering you want to go there, then that tree is a problem. You just defined it as a problem because you want to go there with your car, because you want to cross it. What if in that car, in that moment when the tree falls down, you just decide, I don't want to go there anymore. I'll just go back home. Then that tree is not a problem anymore. So you're sitting in that car, and depending on what you say to yourself, you're holding the steering wheel and you say, yes, I want to cross that tree. Now that tree is a problem. But then you're sitting in the exact same position. Nothing has changed. The condition of the world is exactly the same. And then you say, I don't want to go there anymore. Now that tree is not a problem. So the framing within your own mind, your words, your defined goals define your problems. And as soon as you define a problem for yourself, you identify a problem for yourself, you choose a problem for yourself, you also choose a solution. It's just not visible in the moment. You just don't have the knowledge of it yet. You eventually will. So every problem you choose comes with the solution. Otherwise, because otherwise, it wouldn't be a problem. Or would it? I don't know. It is my philosophy. Perhaps I might be wrong, but I don't know. You give it a thought and tell me what you think. My the future people who are watching this, because currently I get zero views on this, which doesn't bother me at all. But to the future people reading, listening to this, and to the future version of me listening to this, I always knew you were right. Of course, you're in the position you're in, and to the future people watching this, to the future viewer watching this, you see, I've been different since day one. I have been a different thinker, different actor, different person since day one. This is why I am where I am. And perhaps you are as well, or you're not. If you're watching me, you're improving. If you watch me, your life gets better. You become a better person, you achieve more. And you are helped if you watch me. And if you're watching me, you're probably an exceptional person as well, a different person as well, who thinks different, who acts different, who's brave, prepared to go against the entire society if it comes down to it. I'm the person who will sit here and point at 1,000 people and say, "You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong." Come at me. You're wrong. I've already done this when I dropped out of college. Not literally. I have done it with 25,000 people. If they came at me, which they probably, if they knew it, everyone, they would be against it. Probably like 20,000. I don't even know how many people were in my college. I'm just taking this arbitrary number. 20,000 people would be against me, and I would still choose this 100 times over. 100 times I would go through the pain, the stress, the tension. If I had to, I would take the same decision. Am I recording? Please don't tell me that I haven't recorded any audio. No. Let me just. I just checked the recording and it has recorded the audio. Let me just show you one thing. In the audio input here, it was showing nothing connected before. So I had to check. How long was the recording? Let me just check. Good morning. It was only 22 minutes. Is there anything else? Not really. Let's just start working on the vocabulary now. And by the way, your words are your world. Your words are your world. The things you see, hear, feel, smell, touch, sense, but you don't put it into words. You don't retain it in your mind. But the things you do retain it. And so, the things you don't retain, you can't act upon it. But the things you do retain, you can act upon it. Which is why I'm learning vocabulary so that I have a name for everything I want. If there is a thing I want to retain, I want to capture, I want to make sure I have the word for it and I can put it into accurate words. Because if I don't, if I lack words, then I won't be able to retain it and I hence won't be able to act upon it. Which is why I'm learning vocabulary. So let's start the timer. Start. Already know it, ephemeral. I already know ephemeral. Tenacious, not the ability to quit. I already know this one. Ameliorate. Hmm. Let's learn this word. Learn. Do I need this word? Ameliorate. I think unsatisfactory is the key word. Ameliorate. Let me see another words and find the best one to learn. Pragmatic also, I know. Precarious. This is a good word. I keep listening to this. That's the word. Precarious. 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 Ah, I love this word. Something which is about to fall, which is risky, which is not stable. It's not held together firmly. It is dangerously likely to fall. Let's do the word. Let's create the visuals for it. Human imagination is insane, by the way. Precarious. I have an example.
This is blue teal. More like light blue. Something contrasting with white. With yellow. Yeah. I have take this.